Lieutenant Dustin Martin, DUSTIN, Springfield Police.
Okay, what can you tell us about what happened here this evening?
Today, police officers were called to the intersection of Campbell and Commercial for a vehicle versus train. When officers arrived, they located a male here just in a parking lot just west of Washington and Commercial, who was believed to be the driver of that vehicle. The driver suffered serious injuries, not believed to be life-threatening at this point, and was transported to an area hospital.
You're kidding.
No.
I saw the car.
The car was heavily burned. It did burst into flames during the accident. As a result of the accident, multiple train cars were derailed, some including completely over on their side. Initially, there was a hazmat concern, but that was found to be that vehicle or that car was empty from the hazmat.
So there's no coal in it. That was one thing that bystanders were asking me if we knew that if there was coal or not inside.
A second train that was traveling west, the initial impact occurred with the vehicle that was, or with the train that was traveling east. As it was traveling east, it began to appear, it appears that it started to rock back and forth, and it struck or clipped a train that was traveling west. So some of those cars were also knocked off the tracks, and I believe some of that did have coal on it. And I don't know what exactly was involved in the vehicle or in the train that was traveling east.
When you guys found the driver, was he out of the vehicle?
He was out of the vehicle. He was in the parking lot, and he had some burns and some other injuries consistent with the accident.
Have you tested yet, or I'm assuming you guys will test for any type of impairments?
He was, as of right now, we don't know because of the extent of the injuries. He was seen by medical and then taken to the hospital.
So the crash occurred a few blocks down the road, and then the car, from what I understood from witnesses who called 911, saw the car being dragged. You can run a lot of sparks, a lot of things like that.
The car was dragged from Campbell to about Washington, where it finally broke free. And at some point between Campbell and Washington, it did burst into flames. As a result of the accident, the train's derailing. The bridge over Washington Avenue was damaged at the time, so Washington between Commercial and Atlantic will be closed for the time being. I don't know the extent of the damage, but there was structural damage to the bridge that is going to result in it being closed for a while.
Understood, and that's why, obviously BNSF is here. They'll bring out, I know that there's inspections, and there have been crashes down the road anyway off Commercial and Grant.
BNSF is assisting us with finding out what was in the train cars, as well as getting us in contact with the conductor and the engineer.
How long until and again, this is probably BNSF, how long will it be till the rails are open?
I do not know. No. That would be a question for BNSF.
Okay. Anything else you can tell us? Some people were thinking that it was perhaps on purpose. Is the driver mentioning anything as to why or how this could have occurred?
It's early in the investigation, and we don't have any actual cause of the accident. The streets all end at Commercial or just north of, but there is access to the railroad tracks at certain points.
Unusual up here? I can't recall in the last 6 years that I've been here that we've had something of this magnitude.
This is the first accident like this I've worked. So,
what was your first initial reaction when you got to the scene?
The vehicle suffered extensive damage, and it's a wonder that the male was standing outside and was able to get into an ambulance.
I know, it's making me sick to think about. I don't have any other questions. Anybody else? Holy cow. Oh, I can't believe he's alive. That's insane.